Next up is the comparison of channel 1 increasing stuff and channel 2 decreasing stuff, and then vice versa, just to see, bypassing the signal, if it's clean or not, if it has any sway or whatnot, you know what I mean? So we'll just run it in transient design mode, in full range mode, so that the high shelf and the low shelf do not take part in the adjustment of the signal. We'll just set one side to increase and another one to decrease while recording and seeing how it works. I don't hear any difference, you know what I mean? So what can I say? It works perfectly fine. Maybe if I null test it out with a phase flip, there is like a small difference, but I highly doubt it. So what I'm gonna do next is and once again, this is now affecting just the mid channel, not affecting the side channel at all. For this demonstration, I'm just choosing a mid side, follow up from channel 1 to channel 2. So in the plugin, you do have, kind of detents, because you can tell how many decibels you increase. But on actual analog unit, not a mastering edition, you don't have the little notches over there. And so it's continuous and it's hard to work with for mastering purposes. So we'll link up the mid channel 1 into 2, so this becomes a 10, and over here I have a left portion turned into the mid, just like I have this hooked up. And so in the plugin, everything is zeroed out unity gain other than the transient design part, which is +10, and I have everything zeroed out full range, just like the plugin. It's not bypassed, it's +10. So we'll start with the analog first, and it sounds like this. Now the plugin. Back to analog. Plugin. Okay, I can notice that the plugin is more harsh. It does stuff more erratically. It kind of jumps all around the place. The hardware seems to work just a little bit more stable. So no surprises from this one right here. Although maybe the parameter of plugin 10 is not quite the same as in the analog. Maybe +8 would be more close to what the hardware unit offers. I don't know. I'm just comparing the same numbers right now. Let's do the opposite. Let's do the -10, and we'll compare the plugin first versus the analog. So plugin. Versus the hardware. Back to plugin. Back to hardware. What I can hear in this example with the plugin is that the hi-hats, they're not stable. They're kind of clicking and jumping out a little bit more or less. It goes into the zone of attack and back out from it. So it's either under or over. We'll switch back to the analog and you'll hear that it's kind of taking the sound and it's not letting it sway in and out too much. Plugin version. Versus the hardware. Yeah, to be honest, the hardware is also clicking, but what I said about, pertaining to its stability and softness, this is what it does. Let's go on with another parameter, which would be the sustain. We'll decrease the sustain by 10 in the plugin, and we'll decrease the sustain by 10 in the analog. So we'll start with the hardware. Now the plugin. Back to hardware. Well, same thing over here. The analog unit, it's kind of softer, more forgiving. Let's do the opposite. We'll increase the sustain. Do the same here by 10, like so. And we'll start with, let's start with the plugin. Now the hardware. Plugin again. Hardware. The plugin is kind of like letting the thing go too much and then puts it back to its designated spot, while the hardware is, like I said, stable, very stable. It takes the signal and it doesn't let it like misbehave too much. Okay, now what if we decrease the sustain by 10, we increase the attack by 10, and we do the same over here, and we'll compare it like the last time. So starting with the hardware. Okay, the plugin is harsh. Let's do the opposite and we'll see how that works. Honestly, I have never seen a plugin act the same way as the hardware, just because the digits versus the real electricity within the componentry of the device. So it is never the same. Sometimes the plugins, they're modeled after one unit and then these units are a little bit different. I mean, I understand that. Also, these mastering guides, they were developed much later than these ones were, and the units that they were modeling were probably an earlier iteration of ELYSIA Envelope, so no surprise in there. But let's try the sustain plus 10, attack minus 10, and same here. So starting with the plugin. Okay, yeah, all right, so I have my conclusion. The hardware sounds more controlled, more stable, more precise, more forgiving, a little bit softer, and it doesn't have as much range, but it's meant for mastering. So my conclusion is that no surprises with the hardware, while the software is giving you a little bit of surprise, but the price is vastly different, as well as you have to pass the signal through the hardware and record it. You have to patch it, and you cannot clone this device like and plugin is easily cloned, copied. The settings can be copied over. So what I think this unit is useful for is to have it set in the mastering chain, just to have all the pieces of gear working together, and then if something kind of compresses too much and you lose some of the attack, you just kind of increase it a little bit here, so all of the devices work like one chain, like one device with multiple functions. While the plugin, it would be beneficial for you to take the plugin to have the attack and sustain kind of fixed before it's sent to mastering. So the plugin could be a little bit of a fixing tool, while the mastering one would be a little bit of a flavor tool, accommodating other gear in the chain. And like I said, it has to get recorded. That was ELYSIA NV, as I call it, but actually ELYSIA Envelope Mastering Edition. I got it as a replacement for the previous Warm Audio 76D2 that I had. It is not a compressor, but it's a dynamics unit. In my opinion, it sounds better than the plugin. What do you guys think? I'm happy to have it. I'm keeping it. I'm not letting it go easily, unless maybe something replaces it, but I doubt it, because there are not too many transient designers out there. I don't know if one day they release another version of it, like MK2 or whatnot. I don't know if, you know, getting a non-mastering edition is a good idea. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I use it for mid and the side. For the sense of mid-side, it doesn't really matter if knobs are detented or not, and you get a huge benefit of having pretty much triple range for every knob. But other than that, I mean, I love it. I think it's a fantastic unit. It sounds great, very good quality, very transparent, better than the plugin, as we saw it, hardware versus the plugin. Would you get this, or would you get a regular version? I would actually love to tell you about other pieces of gear that I have, in particular the SSL Bus Plus. What a great Swiss Army knife compressor. So let me know in the commentary if you want me to review the SSL Bus Plus. Maybe you want me to review the Universal Audio 6176, or maybe the Warm Audio 73 EQ, or maybe we can jump straight into the mastering sessions with me and tips and tricks. By the way, y'all, I haven't seen my vocal booth yet. Please subscribe, comment, thumbs up if you liked it. If you didn't, please don't give the thumbs down. I'm doing my best. I'm improving. Anyway, it was nice to be here for y'all and for the empowerment of the audio society, for the audio culture engineering out here. Learn from me. Just subscribe and stay in touch. All right? Peace.